Good morning, everyone. We will be beginning in 1 minute. So get yourself comfortable. Welcome to this guided meditation on cultivating your authentic self. When you fear that you can't think or act as you truly are, you put parts of yourself on hold. Hi, I'm Anne Ahokangas. Let's begin to let go of expectations and pressures and lean into your wants, desires, and needs with gentleness and kindness. So sit comfortably and notice your breath. Sitting in a relaxed position, please close your eyes. Notice your breath as it comes and goes naturally. And notice that you are just breathing. Take a deep breath in now. And out. Take 3 deep breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in positivity and breathing out and letting go of old stale air and stale stories. Breathing in, breathing out. Just sitting with your attention on your breath. Relax your body. Drop your shoulders. And allow yourself to just be still. Just using your breath to come into the present moment. Taking another couple of deeper breaths and just making sure that you're comfortable. And bring your attention to your heart center. You can do this by placing your hand on your heart, and this immediately brings your sense awareness into the region of your heart. Or just notice the area of your body where your heart is. So let's begin where your consciousness, your awareness is usually focused, in the center of your head, just above and behind the eyebrows. So bring your attention there now. Feel as if you're pulling your attention back into your head, away from the whirling thoughts and the outside world. And now we're just going to slowly drop down from this place into the heart. And you might like to imagine that you're going down in an elevator, as if there were 7 levels, and I'll just count down for you. So feel as if you're slowly, calmly dropping down, bringing your awareness down through the body. Imagine that little spark of consciousness that is your awareness, traveling down, 7, down to 6, just slowly sinking down to 5, 4, and pause here for a second. And imagine looking out at the world from your throat area. And then continue going down, 3, sinking down to 2, and then 1, into the heart itself. This time, imagine viewing the world from your heart, bringing your focus, your attention, to this center point of your body, in the heart. And as your attention goes here, begin to get a sense that your breathing is focused here. As you breathe in, you breathe directly into the heart. And as you breathe out, you're breathing back out of the heart. And as you continue to breathe in and out of the heart, imagine the energy of love, the color pink as it flows out from the heart, spreading all around you. All the way around your body, up and down, until it envelops your whole body, and then loops back around and re-enters back into the heart. Imagine this pink energy field of love endlessly flowing in and out of the body, centered at the heart. Take this moment to realize that true authenticity is the key to happiness. Perhaps you wish to feel more comfortable in your body, or accepted into a particular group, or to feel aligned with your sense of values. Your authentic self is pure confidence, and it doesn't rely on attaining something outside of yourself. Take a moment to breathe in this truth. You are enough, whatever your particular feelings, needs, or skills are. You are vital to the well-being of all of life. You can be true to your own personality, spirit, or character in spite of external pressures. Let's begin now in this moment. to nourish authenticity by letting go of who you think you're supposed to be and embracing who you actually are. By choosing authenticity, everything begins to be all right, and the real you begins to emerge. I invite you to consider choosing subtle discomfort over discontentment, knowing that you are safe even when life feels uncomfortable. It is safe to have your true feelings and needs. The more you practice being your true self, the easier it becomes to live and lead from this place. Repeat these affirmations to yourself, taking a deep breath at the end of each sentence. I am a human being full of life and possibility. No one else is like me. I have a right to make mistakes and recover. I love myself unconditionally. I do not need anyone else's approval to love and be kind to myself. Sometimes I do not know. It is okay not to know. The unknown invites me to be curious and discover. I do my best. I let go of the rest. Think of a recent experience with a partner, friend, family member, or coworker where you wanted to be authentic but weren't. Imagine pausing at the height of this interaction and asking yourself the following questions. What am I afraid would happen if I shared my experience right now with this person? How will I feel if I don't share what I'm thinking and feeling? If I weren't afraid, what would I most want to say to this person right now? How might I share this with even more vulnerability? I am true to myself as I deliberately align what I feel and need with what I say and do. I make good choices by using my intuition, sometimes by doing the necessary research, and sometimes looking at the bigger picture. I choose to do something every day that reflects my deepest needs, wishes, and beliefs. I speak up for myself and ask for what I want. I create healthy boundaries and easily say no at the right times. I release the need to please others. I am imperfectly perfect and perfectly myself. I easily express and maintain my boundaries, especially about the level of energy I can handle being around or taking in. I bless my fears with loving kindness and compassion. Now return your attention to your heart center and to your breath. Gently and easily on the next breath, open your eyes. And as you easily return your attention to this space, feeling refreshed and better than before, and say with me, and so it is.
Well, if you want to be loved, you got to see love. And if you want to see love, you got to be love. And if you want to be loved, you got to see love. And if you want to see love, you got to be love. Oh, no, there ain't no other way, man. 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 So say, Jah, 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 oh, oh, oh. Be love, see love, oh, 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 be love, yeah, yeah, see love, be love, see love, be love, see love. Well, if you want to be loved, you got to see love. And if you want to see love, you got to be love. And if you want to be loved, you got to see love. And if you want to see love, you got to be love. Oh, no, there ain't no other way, man. 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 So say, Jah, 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 oh, 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 oh. Be love, see love, be love, see love. Well, if you want to be loved, you got to see love. And if you want to see love, you got to be love. And if you want to be loved, you got to see love. And if you want to see love, you got to be love. Oh, no, there ain't no other way, man. 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 So say, Jah, 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 oh, oh, oh. Be love, see love, be love, see love, be love, oh, 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 see love, yeah, yeah, be love, oh, 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 oh. see love, you got to be loved.
Good morning, Mile High. Okay, now this song is interactive, and I'm going to ask you to do a few things, but it's going to make you feel real good. And the person next to you, it's going to make them feel even better. All right? Here we go. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. From every walk of life, every creed and color, intention we unite. In honor of the God in each other. Oh, take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love. Oh, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of
Morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Hamilton. Welcome to everybody here in the sanctuary. Welcome to those of you online. We are always grateful for your presence. My name is Marcia Daly, and I am your presider for today. Is there anyone here for the first time? Here we go. There's always a gift for you, so do see me at the end of the service. And welcome. So this month, our ability and faculty is zeal, and it comes from one of the 12 Powers of Man by Charles Fillmore. And the affirmation that goes along with it is, and I'd love if you'd say this with me, I am filled with spiritual passion. I enthusiastically accept my good and go forward to achieve my purpose. My inner flame burns brightly for all to see. I am zeal. Perfect, thank you. We are a tithing center, so 10% of all we receive goes back out into the community to bless and serve, and we are serving this quarter, the fourth quarter, Unity Canada and Food for Kids. And now for a song of the month. If you're a Barry White fan, you'll know this one. You're the first, the last, my everything. And it's sung for us by Emilio Zares.
You're my first, my last, my everything, and the answer to all my dreams. You're my sun, my moon, my guiding star. You're my kind of wonderful, that's what you are. I know there's only one like you. There's no way they could have made two. You're I'm living for. Your love I'll keep forevermore. You're the first, you're the last, my everything. And in you I found so many things, a love so new, only you could bring. Can't you see, it's you, you make me feel this way. You're like the first morning dew on a brand new day. I see so many ways that I can love you, dear, till the day I die. You're my reality, yet I'm lost in a dream. You're the first, you're the last, my everything. This song makes me happy. This is my happy song. I know there's only one like you. There's no way they could have made two. You're my reality, yet I'm lost in a dream. You're the first, you're the last, my everything.
Oh, so wonderful. Yes?
Sandy May says that's her dancing song.
Okay, Sandy, that's your dancing song. Yahoo! We were dancing here too.
Just try to put a little more energy into it next time.
They're telling Emilio to put more energy into it. Do you think he could? I don't think it's possible. So I'm Reverend Anna Hokangas. I'm the spiritual director here. And I would like to focus our morning prayer on the current situation of escalation of conflict in Palestine and Israel. So let's bring our awareness and our love to all those touched by this crisis and to all who suffer, including the Russians and the Ukrainians and just all the conflict. So let's take a minute of just silence and let's be the peace that we wish to see in the world. And in this moment, I affirm that I am the peace that I wish to see in the world. For I need search no further than my heart. For the peace resides right where I am. And as I express the peace is something that becomes expressed in everyone and everything around me. And it creates this ripple effect that touches everyone in the world. Knowing that who I am has an impact. I am peace. I let go and I let it be so. Please join with me in affirming, and so it is.
Will this day be a blessing? Will this year be better than the last? Will I calm the voice that hounds me? Discard the demons of the past? Will I step out of my faith now? Live the truth I've come to know? Throw my dreams into the river. Let these 4 words help them flow. Singing, yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Sing it with me now. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Maybe it's a body that needs healing, a relationship that's worn, or a child that is in trouble. There's a friendship that's been torn, or here's a job that needs new vision, a bank account that needs relief. I don't have to tell you all my problems. I just gotta rest in your belief. Singing, yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Sing it with me again. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. I believe in your goodness. I believe in your grace. I believe that your power is flowing through me in this space. For you've given me guidance, and you gave me desire, and you would not have set this flame in my heart if I could not start a fire. So yes, I believe. God, I believe. Yes, I believe. God, I believe. Sing it with me now. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. One more time. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. One more time. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe.
Today's absolute word, guidance. The affirmation, I open my mind and heart to my inner guidance. Sometimes I have insisted on figuring things out for myself. Over the years, I have learned the value of asking others. As we exchange ideas, we may tap into a higher wisdom that had not been previously apparent. This higher wisdom is not outside me. It is my inner knower, my highest consciousness synced up with my divinity. I can at any time call upon my higher consciousness, whether I'm guiding myself from a lower level of awareness or my highest. Both depend upon divine understanding and wisdom. I synchronize my inner knower by opening my mind and heart to my inherent divinity in prayer. Then I watch and listen. Soon I know what to do. This kind of guidance comes in both familiar and surprising ways.
Yes, we're going old school. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together in unity and love. We are many textures, we are many colors, each one different from the other. But we are entwined with one another in one great tapestry. Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together. Weave us together, together in love. We are different instruments playing our own melodies, each one tuning to a different key. But we are all playing in harmony, in one great symphony. Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together. Weave us together, together in love. A moment ago, still we did not know our unity, only diversity. Now the Christ in me greets the Christ in thee as one great family. Weave us together. Weave us together, together unity and love. Weave us together. Weave us together, together in love.
That's great to have one of the old Unity songs. I like that one. Now, I'm doing you guys a favor, because last week I told my joke, I gave you the punchline at the beginning. So I'm fired from telling jokes for the next little while. So I have a wonderful person here in the audience who has agreed to tell us a joke. His name is Pierre Bonchamp. And please come up to the lectern, Pierre, and tell us your joke.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Good. Well, joke, I'm not sure. It's a story. Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank the Reverend Anne and all of you for welcoming me to your center, into your hearts, and some of you literally into your arms. I'm very grateful. And as all good stories begin, it begins with once upon a time. Once upon a time, there was a little bird. This little bird was very strange. It was very special. He loved the summer. He couldn't get enough of it. So this little bird, he loved the light. He loved the heat, the sun, the warmth. And all of nature was alive. And when it got a little too hot, he could always hide in the shade of the leaves. But you still could feel the heat. It was wonderful. However, when the time came for his family and his friends to leave, to go south, to migrate, well, he stayed back because he wanted to enjoy summer to the fullest. Then came Indian summer, and it was almost as great as the real thing. He really enjoyed it. But as it happened about a week ago, overnight, the cruel, bitter, cold wind came in. He was so cold, my God, he was freezing. He thought, what have I done? I have to go, I have to fly away. So he flew and flew and flew as high as he could. But the higher he got, the more his wings started being weighed down by the cold wind. They started to freeze, and eventually he was so heavy that he plummeted to the ground, and he landed in a field and passed out. I was going to say passed away, but he was still alive. Passed out. Okay. Now in this field there was a cow. Oh my God, she was nothing to look at. She wasn't pretty, this cow, but she had a heart of gold. And when she saw the little bird, she thought, I've got to do something. What can I do? Okay. So she approached him, and she turned around, she assumed the position, and plop! Down went a huge big patty right on the bird. And the little bird, as soon as the warmth touched him, he was so happy and pleased. It was almost like summer. He was thawing out. He was wonderful. He had a great time. He thought, oh, this is beautiful. I have to thank the world, and I have to sing my joy. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. And he started singing. Well, in the same field, there was a cat, a black cat, like my Mimi at home. And as you know, cats are very curious. And when the cat saw that there was a cow patty singing, very unusual. So she approached very quietly on felt paws, stealthily, step by step, and came close. And in no time, she figured out what was going on. So the poop went flying left, right, and center. She grabbed the bird, she rolled it in the grass to clean it, and ate it. What is the moral of this story? Well, on the one hand, not everyone that puts you in the poop is an enemy. And not anyone that takes you out of the poop is a friend. But also at Unity, there's a little lesson for us here. Don't hold back. Let go. It's not worth it.
So how's that for shaking up your worldview? And that is our topic today as we continue to talk about paradox. And so let's begin by knowing that as we explore the power of paradox, we're aware that war and peace form the biggest paradox of all. And so how do we continue to know peace in the midst of war? Moving toward a more peaceful world means addressing the underlying causes of violence, inequity, injustice, colonialism, and the oppression of all forms. And you know, we say it begins with us. In whatever form it takes. We started a little bit this morning with our prayer in just being the peace, because you may not realize how powerful you are. But what you are being speaks so loudly that often people can't hear what you're saying because the energy that you exude is so powerful. So I invite you to be the peace. Ernest Holmes said, "The promise that comes from practicing a conscious sense of union with the divine is a deep, abiding peace, even in the midst of personal or planetary challenges. We can create a spiritual chain reaction which can bring peace in the midst of chaos." So the journey of paradox is about living in that question of how can I be what it is that I choose to experience in the world. So living with the unknown can feel vulnerable. Let's explore the tools, especially during this challenging time. I mean, I don't watch the news, and yet it's everywhere anyway. So let's say this together. Peace begins with me. Because it's so easy watching the news, hearing everything that's going on, to just feel as though it's out there. And yet what we see is a reflection of who we are. And so as we transform our own consciousness, our own beliefs, then it begins to transform everywhere we look. So were you taught that knowing and being right is more important than curiosity? I know that certainly my parents exemplified that, and a lot of the superior people in my life exemplified that. There wasn't as much encouragement about curiosity except when I was with my friends. So were you taught that you should only show the best parts of yourself to the world? Yes, my parents exemplified that. My father, not so much. He was a little bit more down to earth. But, you know, if you asked him a question, be ready to sit for an hour and a half because he had a long answer. So, you know, you got to know that pretty quick. So if you were in a hurry and you said, "How are you?" be ready to sit there. And are you giving people the Facebook happy version rather than the behind-the-scenes mess, blah, 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 that may exist? You know, I know that I post a lot of happy things on Facebook because I'm the minister at Unity, you know, and it's part of what I do. But it's also part of my spiritual practice because I think about those things throughout the day as I post them. So playing with paradoxes offers you the ability to stay open to many perspectives, to not know and to be vulnerable and uncertain. And, you know, we talked about being uncomfortable in the meditation this morning. Rather than resistant, to just be willing to be a little bit uncomfortable, to explore something new. Playing with the unanswerable questions is a fabulous opportunity to simply be, without needing to be right, or even to know what right is. And certainly at times when we're bombarded with the kind of conflict news that we get, there are a lot of unanswerable questions, like what can I do? What can I do with how I'm feeling about all of this? So stay in the question rather than know the answer. Because if you try to bring up an answer, you're conjuring it up from your ego mind. Whereas if you stay in the question, then the answers will come from that greater wisdom that is at the core of who you are. So today we're going to look at the Holy, Holy Way, the spiritual chain reaction, and something called cones. Are you ready? So let's begin with Holy, Holy Way, and we sing a song that's called Holy, Holy Way, which we will be singing today. So basically the Holy, Holy Way is having a high investment in something, but low attachment to the outcome or what people might think. That is traveling the Holy, Holy Way. Paradox can naturally lead us to a place of curiosity. It can, but it can also stop us. So when you're faced with a paradox, you can shut down, and that's sort of our natural way of going. But if you're faced with something that just doesn't seem to make sense, why not be curious instead? So when you let go of your attachment to one way or another, you can approach challenges, obstacles, and problems with this sense of curiosity. So what are you dealing with right now that you might just say, if I was living in the question without an answer, what would that look like? And perhaps consider that. So are you willing to step into a place of high investment and low attachment? You know, we had a short conversation this week about giving and receiving, and how many of us are just so happy to give and really are challenged by receiving. And yet, who would we be giving to if they didn't receive well? We'd stop giving pretty quickly, wouldn't we? So the thing is that it's already this interaction that's happening. And how might you be an even better receiver? So that's having a low attachment to whatever it is you're receiving, and a high investment in keeping that giving and receiving going. Does that make sense? So how can you be wholly passionate and invested in the solution with low attachment to what the solution may look like? I know we all want to know the answer ahead of time, don't we? Yes. And yet, sometimes when you don't hang on to it, when you're kind of open-palmed with it, then this most incredible answer ends up coming that you can say, wow, like I never expected that. But that's because it's beyond that box that you've tried to put something in. So have you heard of the double slit experiment? So this is proving that when you look at something, you alter it by your perception of it. And this is an experiment that was done in physics. And so this is the first part of the video on how they tried to prove that what you focus on grows or changes or is affected.
The original double slit experiment was conducted in 1801 by British polymath Thomas Young. Since then, it's been performed with various types of particles, including electrons, and they were found to behave in the same way. This phenomenon occurs even if the photons are fired one at a time, which suggests that the photon is interfering with itself as it passes through both slits at once.
Physicists were so stumped that they decided to observe which slit the particle went through.
And that's when things get really weird. When scientists used a measuring device to observe the slit that each photon passed through, the interference pattern disappeared, and the photons started behaving like particles. Instead of the spectrum of light and dark bands, we see two bright bands, indicating that the photons chose one slit or the other. So light can display characteristics of both particles and waves, known as wave-particle duality. It appears that light decides to behave as a wave when it's not being watched, and acts like a particle when it is being measured. The mere act of observing which slit it went through changed the behavior of the photons, almost as if they were aware they were being watched.
So that's the beginning of that whole idea that we talk about in spirituality all of the time, is that when we observe something either negatively or positively, that concept grows in our perception because it's actually happening on this subatomic level. So the mere act of observing changed the behavior of the proton to a wave, and from a wave to a proton. And I know you didn't come here for science, but the thing is that it's so beautiful that this thing that we are attempting to prove in our lives as spirituality is being proven in science. So here's part 2 of this experiment.
The most widely accepted theory to explain this phenomenon comes from physicist Niels Bohr, who proposed that particles like photons don't have definite properties until they're observed. So in the case of light, photons exist in a wave-like form representing a range of possible positions until they are observed. When we measure or observe the particle, we force it to choose a definite state, behaving like particles. This is called the Copenhagen interpretation, named in honor of Bohr's home city. However, to this day, no one knows why observing a particle causes its behavior to change. Not everyone was a fan of his theory. Einstein disagreed that particles could be in multiple states at once until observed. He was uncomfortable with the inherent randomness of such an interpretation, and famously said, "God does not play dice with the universe." Einstein believed that the universe followed a consistent set of rules, like how his general relativity theory predicted the motion of planets around the sun. He spent his later years trying to develop a unified theory that explained everything in the universe, but he didn't succeed. There are certain things in life we take for granted. If you don't get enough sleep, you'll feel tired and groggy. If you drive recklessly, you're more likely to get into an accident. But sometimes there are principles that govern our lives that we just can't explain. The perplexing result of the double slit experiment is up for interpretation, with some suggestions that this is evidence our world could be programmed. So far, not even the best scientific minds can explain the bizarre behavior of particles, at least not yet.
So a couple of things in there, that our world can be programmed. We're programming our world all the time with our thoughts and our beliefs and the words that we use. And the other thing that was really interesting in this was that something didn't exist until it was being observed. So we also talk about that we create our reality based on our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs. And so, you talk about this idea of conflict somewhere in the world. We, on some level, have created that conflict through this belief in conflict. And so how can we undo that? By thinking peace, by thinking things that are not conflict. So if you have trouble in any area of your life, what have you been thinking to start to create those protons, those waves, to create the kind of life that you're having? And then it's interesting that Einstein, of course, he should have lived many lives for the things that he wanted to prove in science. But one of the things he said was that all of these things exist everywhere all the time at the same time. And we know that because spirit is everywhere present all of the time. We know that not from scientific approaches, but just in our hearts. Know that that's true. So Einstein says particles can be in multiple states at once until observed. God does not play dice with the universe. And so even though things may seem random, there is something we don't know that is at play here, that maybe might not even be discovered in our lifetime. But as spiritual seekers, we can work it because we already know the basic concepts. So here's number 3, the weird slit experiment.
This is where the weird begins. I cannot explain to you what you're about to see. That's because no one on earth understands it yet. If you can't live with that, then you're not going to be happy with what lies up ahead. On the smallest possible scale that we've ever discovered, the quantum universe, the mere act of observation changes reality. Okay, photons, keep on coming. This time, we promise not to look. You're not going to believe this, but we can change the pattern on the far wall simply by not watching which slit the photons pass through. I know it sounds crazy, but in every trial ever conducted, the outcome depends on whether or not the experiment was observed. So the reason we didn't get the interference pattern earlier wasn't because we chopped up the light into single photons. It was because we were observing which slit the photons passed through. But how could a photon know if someone is watching?
And it's because we're all one. We are all one. And so the other interesting thing that he said there was that when you're not watching it, it's doing something different. Well, the thing is, there are all these random things that are going on in life that happen by default. And our life can sometimes feel as though we are just this puppet that's being strung by these strings that somebody else is moving. And the thing is, when we start to be deliberate creators of our life, then our life changes. So you have a choice. And the science is just scratching the surface. So just like these electrons, our goal is to use curiosity to stay in possibility and potentiality for as long as possible. So spiritual chain reaction, I love that term. So we can unite, focusing the energy of love to bring peace to Israel and Palestine, to the Ukraine, and to all areas of the planet where there is no peace, through the creation of a spiritual chain reaction. We had the wonderful opportunity yesterday with Reverend Twyman, where people all over the world prayed for peace around the world from 12 to 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. And we happened to be in our art class at the time, so we spent 30 minutes painting and being in the peace. And you can do that anytime because there is no such thing as time. So whether you were there yesterday from 12 to 12:30 doesn't matter. You can do that anytime. And allow the energies of peace and love and harmony to rise up and be strong. Whatever you need to think about that brings about peaceful feelings and harmony. Maybe it's a wonderful place that you go to that gives you just this sense of harmony and calm. And imagine that in your imagination for as long as you can, as often as you can. You're going to make a difference, first in your life and then around the world. Peace begins at the center of our own being, where instead of moving to fear, anger, and anxiety, we focus on the greater powers. So let's hold space for peace to be realized. I invite you to do that. That's your homework this week. And cones. What's a cone anyway? Right? So, as in good politics and good philosophy, the cone was designed to inject great doubt into the student's mind, to create the opportunity to surrender, to let go. Cones are sometimes labeled nonsensical, though that misses the point. Logic is not the goal here. It's not about going into your intellect, into your mind. As renowned Sanbo Kyodan teacher Philip Kapleau writes, the role of the cone is not to lead us to Satori, enlightenment, but on the contrary, to make us lose our way and drive us to despair. Now, what does he mean by that? Well, we want everything to be logical. We want everything to make sense. And in that, we're putting the world in a box. And when we step out of that into a cone, then all of a sudden there's room for some new ideas to start to come up. So how would you react if I asked you which color you like better, purple or orange? You'd tell me which one, right? Then think about what you'd think if I asked you which color you like better, purple or 7. That's a cone. So you'd likely laugh and reply, well, 7's not a color. Yet there might be a moment where you had to pause and consider context. And it's those pauses where spirit comes in. So that moment of doubt where you'd need to stop to think things through is the purpose of the cone. So Zen Buddhists use cones, nonsensical and paradoxical statements, riddles, questions, and stories that open students up to what is called the great doubt. And the great doubt is to shake you up and say, this isn't really the reality. That there is this reality beyond what I think I'm seeing, and how might I open up to it, especially when you're stuck in something. So cones shed light on the limitations of logic, reasoning, and thinking. And it's a meditation practice that opens us up to experiencing reality rather than trying to understand it. So Don Diando, he's the author of See for Yourself, Zen Mindfulness for the Next Generation. He says the cone serves as a surgical tool used to cut into and then break through the mind of a practitioner. And you're all spiritual practitioners. And so if you're stuck and somehow you don't feel like you're growing spiritually, I consider using a cone. Cones aren't just puzzles that your mind figures out suddenly and proclaims, aha, the answer is 3. It's more of there is no answer, and when there is no answer, you're living in the question. And when you live in the question, then these amazing answers start to pop up. They wait for you to open enough to allow the space necessary for them to enter into your depths, to the inner regions beyond knowing. So this is by Alan Watts. I love his wisdom. It's not achieved by looking out of the corner of your eye to see if everybody else is getting the same results as you, but by trying to find out what others have, or by trying to find out what others have already discovered. It's achieved by going down into one's own inner secret place and asking there for a direct encounter with the world, independent of convention. So 2 hands clap, and there's a sound. What is the sound of one hand? That's a cone. Without thinking of good or evil, show me your original face before your mother and father were born. That's a cone. 2 monks are arguing about a flag. One says the flag is moving, the other says the wind is moving. The third walks by and says, not the wind, not the flag, the mind is moving. And the paradoxical sayings of Jesus. A cone found in John 10:30, where Jesus says, I and the Father are one. Now maybe you've heard that so often that you don't realize it is a cone. Because as a human being, you think, how can I possibly be one with the Father, the guy with the big beard up in a chair, up there somewhere? But it's a cone. So listen to this. Close your eyes just quickly.
I know, I am, I and my Father are one. Ooh.
So this statement is actually the gate to enlightenment, based on the mind of Jesus. No prophet, rabbi, or probably any Jew before him had ever dared to claim. He publicly claimed equality with God. Like, can you imagine the courage that it would take most of us? And yet there was something in him that just knew this cone was a reality for him. So Jesus became Jesus Christ, not because he was more important than other people or possessed something they did not possess, but because his spiritual realization was deeper. Jesus, the man, became the Christ. We all have the capacity to attain that same freedom through meditation, which develops into spiritual realization. So the cone of Jesus is the doorway to oneness, our realization of the Christ presence within. To practice this cone is not to think about it, but to use it as a way to explore your own experience in meditation. So if you and the Father are indeed one, it means the Father is seeing out of your eyes, feeling your breath in meditation, and hearing with your ears in this moment. That's a cone. It means that your very life is the life of God. And when you experience the truth of this cone, you will understand Jesus and the essence of his teachings. So what statement might you use? Because maybe the statement of I and the Father doesn't resonate. Maybe it's I am one with all that is. Maybe it's everything always works out for me. Maybe it's I am magnificent. What might it be? So we've traveled the holy, holy way, and we've created a spiritual chain reaction. Whether it feels as though you did or not, you did. And now you know what a cone is. And you can have fun at some game where they say, what's a cone? And you'll go, I know. Which color do you like better, purple or 7? So say this with me. Peace begins with me.
Peace begins with me.
And so it is. So let's sing Holy, Holy Way.
Yes, York Region's favorite song.
Yeah. Hey, York Region. And Gertie. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me learn from all the ways I fall. Let me learn from all the ways I fall. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a wholeness all around. Let me know that love is all around. Oh, let me share the good that overflows. Let me share the good that overflows. Oh, let my stance rebuild the path of peace. Let my stance rebuild the path of peace. Oh, let me talk each day a little kinder. Let me talk each day a little kinder. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way.
What was your takeaway for today? This was pretty juicy. I learned something I didn't know about, the cone, that is. But I'm taking away three things. I'm taking away, and I have been interestingly studying this in a book I'm reading, if I were living in the question without having to go to that answer, which is one of my, I don't know, terrible things I do, what would that look like? Because, and as you rightfully said, when you're in the mind trying to figure out the answer, that's your ego. It's not the divine wisdom that's talking to you. I like the association with the double slit experiment that what you focus on grows. That makes it more meaningful to me. And then lastly, I'm taking away the definition of what a cone is. And my cone will be, and has always been, everything always works out magically for me. I like that word, magically. So there, what are you taking away today? As always, we are grateful for your support, whether it comes in the form of your treasure, your time, or your talent. So if you wish to give your treasure here in the sanctuary, you may do so via the envelopes, but e-transfers are accepted at admin@unityspiritualcenter.com or checks made out to Unity Spiritual Center. And so as a sign of our gratitude, we want to say this affirmation together, hand on heart. Divine love that I am blesses all I give and all I receive. And just for a few announcements, we have a potluck today. So if you're here physically, you may stay. We haven't quite worked out how to do a virtual potluck.
Smell-o-vision.
We probably do. And we encourage you to check our newsletter because you'll be up to date with everything we're doing.
It's so funny, synchronicity, because I was driving here and I saw the rain in the sunny day. On a sunny day. A little bit of sun, a little bit of rain. Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, it'll rain a sunny day. I know, shouting down like water. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Yes, I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Coming down on a sunny day. Yesterday and days before, sun is cold and rain is hard. I know, been that way for all my time. Till forever on it goes, through the circle fast and slow. I know, it can't stop, I wonder. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? Yes, I want to know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? Yeah, I want to know, have you ever seen the rain? I want to know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? That's a cone.
That was full of cones. You're going to notice cones everywhere you go now. I was watching the Graham Norton show this week, and he had the gentleman who has written most of Elton John's songs for him, the lyrics. Elton John would create the music, but he wrote the words. And most of his words were cones as well. Like the phrases made no sense. And that's part of, I think, what was so amazing about all of his music, is that it allowed you to go to some place that didn't make sense. So know that we're here to pray with you, because that's just what we do. So if you have a prayer request, send it to me or to prayer@unityspiritualcenter.com. My email is revann@unityspiritualcenter.com. Or if you have a request and you're here, you can fill it out, place it in our prayer box on the piano, and know that we will hold it in prayer. And let's say the prayer for protection, thinking about the world events as well as our own lives as we say this. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that is meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And I'm on 3 weeks vacation starting tomorrow. And next week is Reverend Pat gracing us with her wisdom. And that'll be wonderful. And the next week, which is the 29th, it'll be Karen Taylor Good and Stowe Daly providing us with music and inspiration. And it'll be in person, but they will be via video. And then on the third week, we have the wonderful Reverend Dr. Jane Simmons. And she will be on video because she wasn't able to be here, but she'll be providing the service for the first Sunday in November. And then I will be back. So hopefully you enjoy all of them, and let's go and eat, okay? Bye for now. I love you. See you next week.